These are the stupidest expensive things NBA stars own. Starting with one of Michael Jordan's most absurd purchases. Jordan's most stupidly expensive purchases. Few people know that Jordan loved to play golf during his playing days. After he retired from the NBA, he devoted countless hours to this new sport, even buying a golf course in Florida so that he could play quietly on his property. The golf course cost him around $15 million and is among the most expensive purchases he has ever made. However, if you think that's the most expensive thing Michael Jordan has ever bought, you're wrong. Jordan also owns a private jet valued at $61.5 million. In addition, he owns a luxury yacht that he bought for the modest price of $80 million. But these purchases are nothing compared to the biggest purchase he has ever made. But what exactly did he buy? Jordan went on to spend $175 million to buy the Charlotte Hornets, and he turned them into one of the most expensive franchises in the league before selling them for $3 billion. No one can say the superstar doesn't know how to do business, but he's not the only one who has spent his money on stupidly expensive things. It's well known that NBA players love to make crazy purchases, but I bet you won't be able to guess what Ben Simmons spent thousands of dollars on, only to regret it a few months later. Simmons has admitted that his worst purchase was 2 Savannah cats, one bought for $4,000 and the other for $6,000. So he spent $10,000 total on these 2 animals. However, it wasn't too long before Ben realized why having a couple of wild animals in your home was a bad idea. The animals were quite aggressive and didn't want anyone near their food. That's why after a couple of situations where Simmons' brother ended up getting hurt, they decided to find them a better home. That's crazy, but there is an even crazier purchase. Steph Curry has a strange habit of chewing on his mouth guard during games. But what if I told you that those mouth guards cost tens of thousands of dollars? In the 2018 finals, the Golden State Warriors were beating the crap out of the Cavaliers in Game 4. Afterward, Steph heard a voice calling out to him in the distance. The voice was a fan who wanted Steph's mouth guard. Steph looked the fan in the eye and tossed him his mouth guard. The fan caught it and put it in his pocket without being aware of the treasure he held. Later that day, he discovered that a used Steph Curry mouth guard was previously purchased for $3,190 in 2016. The fan immediately spoke to the president of the California SCP auction to find out how much a new one might fetch, and he found out it could sell for more than $25,000. Now that's what I call a lucky break. Unfortunately, Curry has tossed his mouth guard on more than one occasion, and it hasn't always been for altruistic reasons. In fact, he racked up $75,000 in fines for throwing his mouth guard during the 2016 NBA Finals and a regular season game the following year against the Memphis Grizzlies. But that's nothing compared to how much money the NBA's next star has spent on his bizarre collection. Jared Jack has 2 feet and a shoe collection of approximately 1,500 pairs of shoes and sneakers.
Don't judge me for my mess.
I can see it right behind you already. Look at the shoes everywhere. Yo, my God, that's crazy.
Including countless unlimited edition items. His most expensive pair of sneakers cost him as much as $2,000 a few years ago. If we were to calculate that each pair of shoes cost an average of $120, we could be looking at a collection of more than $180,000. And that's without even considering his limited edition shoes. So that's a pretty conservative estimate. However, Jared isn't the only player with a gigantic shoe collection. Former Nova forward Joe Johnson maintains a 500-square-foot closet devoted exclusively to his hundreds of pairs of sneakers. According to a Yahoo Finance article published in 2020, that collection was worth about $60,000. But considering inflation over the past few years, we could expect a much higher figure. The following purchases may not be as expensive as the previous ones, but it is still incredibly absurd. Deshaun Stevenson has an ATM installed in his kitchen for guests, for which he paid a total of $3,500 over a decade ago. According to the Star, he admitted that he was inspired by an MTV show. Stevenson added that he wanted to have an ATM in his home, mainly to allow his friends to withdraw money to go out and party. But nothing is free in life, as that didn't get them out of paying fees. But how is it possible for an ATM in the middle of the kitchen to have money in it? Well, Stevenson reloads the machine 4 to 6 times a year. He further explained that the ATM has a $20,000 fixed fund. The next crazy purchase I'll show you will surprise you more than anything you've seen so far. But before I do, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video to show me your support. Gilbert Arenas has a strange fondness for sharks, so much so that he used to own a tank full of these dangerous animals in his mansion. The former player had a successful career in the NBA, which translated into an overwhelming amount of money that he earned and squandered on his favorite pets. Today, it is estimated that Arenas has spent between $80,000 and $100,000 a year feeding and caring for them. Unfortunately, the mansion ended up being put on the market, Shark Tank included, for a modest $3.5 million. The champagne war no one is talking about. The late great Kobe Bryant also loved to spend his money on extravagant things. He was once involved in a wildly expensive champagne war in Las Vegas. The NBA star was at a club opening at the Wynn when he saw poker player Antonio the Magician Esfandiari buy 2 bottles of Cristal champagne, which was sold for $1,400 each. Brian wanted to outbid the gambling pro, so he ordered 5 bottles. Esfandiari changed his order to 10 bottles. So Brian ordered 15 bottles for $21,000 and then immediately left the club without drinking a drop of the alcohol he had paid for. What a badass! Yet, it's not all about showing off. Some celebrities also love to give extremely expensive gifts. The kindness of John Wall. Most people spend Christmas together with their loved ones. However, it was another workday for the Wizards since they were scheduled to play against the Celtics. That's why the team had to work things out. John Wall decided to give each of his teammates a special gift. When they opened the wrapping, they found the most expensive surprise of their lives. John Wall had custom Rolex watches made for each player on the team. The watches cost him around $40,000 each. Considering he had 15 teammates, you can do the math. Wall had spent $600,000 to make one of the best gifts in NBA history. If he had also bought a watch for himself, he could have spent about $640,000. In those days, Wall had a salary of $18 million, not including sponsorships or any other investment income he might have earned. So it's not as if he would have been bankrupted by these lavish gifts. Still, it's a nice gesture and deserving of our appreciation. However, when it comes to extravagant purchases, only Jordan could compare to the next player in our video. Let's see what LeBron James spends his money on. LeBron James's most expensive purchases. LeBron James has had a remarkable journey that has led him to become one of the few professional athletes with a net worth of over $1 billion. However, his net worth is not exclusively attributed to his earnings with Nike or the LA Lakers, but to his exceptional investment acumen. Another key factor to why James has managed to amass so much money is his frugality. Some of his friends even think he is too frugal or stingy to spend some of his fortune. But that's not what we discovered in our research. LeBron may be thriftier than other millionaires, but that hasn't stopped him from making more than one luxurious purchase. In fact, he owns an impressive car collection that totals $10 million. Among these cars are the Porsche 918 Spider, the Ferrari 599, the 458 Spider, and the F430 Spider. James also owns an exceptionally extravagant watch collection, possibly rated among the most expensive watch collections in the world. His Rolex collection includes a good mix of entry-level gold and oyster perpetual pieces, including multiple models of a Rolex Day-Date and a Rolex Tiffany Blue Nautilus, worth $220,000. Meanwhile, his limited edition Audemars Baguette reaches $1 million. But not even the price of all these watches added together can compare to the most expensive watch he has ever bought. James proudly wore the Patek Philippe Nautilus Ref 5711 watch during Super Bowl 56. According to the portal High Snobiety, the watch is valued at $6.5 million. But of course, we can't forget to mention the expensive property for which he paid a fortune. LeBron owns a mansion valued at $54 million. The property includes amenities such as a swimming pool, where he often cools off after a hard training day. The furniture and walls in general are bright white, which gives the house an elegant feel. The mansion also has a terrace with lounge chairs and a food bar, a gym complete with a spa, a golf simulator, and more. But even after owning one of the most luxurious properties in the world, the NBA star wasn't satisfied with having just one mansion, so he had to have a miniature replica made for his daughter. I bet those who said LeBron was cheap would think twice before criticizing him again. Before you go, comment below what you think was the most stupidly expensive purchase made by an NBA star. We'll be reading your comments.